Well, it's time. It's time that I tell you what's really going on. Now, uh, I'm going to begin my series like before. The Saturn series is on Zoom. You pay $5 and you get it. You know that. So that's cool. Uh, I will do other astrological uh, videos describing certain planets that I will not put on Zoom, that I'm going to leave on YouTube. For those of you who eventually would want to get a birth chart done, you have a lot of information already available to you. In addition to the school and in addition to other videos available to you once you get a birth chart. So I'm giving you a lot. Uh, Again, we are essentially nonprofit. We're not here to make money, but we have to pay certain things, right? We have to charge certain things to keep the LLC going. Um, that's the only reason why I do it. But my real job, collective, my real purpose is not really to launch the school, even though I've already done that. We're beginning January. That's still on schedule. Um, Doing tarot readings, doing birth charts. That's really like a side. But that's not really what I was called to do as a chosen one. But I've been fighting it. Because I gotta tell you, this is no easy thing here. This is no easy thing here. I'm supposed to give you downloads about what's happening in the cosmos and how that connects to us. But you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. Uh, it's difficult to explain and far more difficult to believe. I believe in December of last year, people were talking about an energy shift. Everybody got on the hype. Energy shift. There's an energy shift. And it was happening from the constellation of Sagittarius, specifically Sagittarius. It's actually been accumulating for more years before. And I knew of the energy. I knew that this was happening. And the constellation was expanding. Uh, it wasn't an energy shift. It was a portal that was opening. And when this portal opened, extraterrestrial beings came out of it. We're not quite clear where on the other side of the universe they came from, but they entered our system. And they are violent, volatile. They waged a war on our particular solar system to take over. Think of it as the Borg in Star Trek, that they traveled all over the cosmos, assimilating life forms and making it part of their own. This is what this group of entities are like. They are also scavengers. And for some reason, they have taken an interest in our planet. we have in our solar system star beings like the Pleiades, Orion, that protect our solar system from these invaders. The reason why the spiritual war has become so bad and so intense is because we are fighting these beings. And they're shapeshifters. They want to take over. And some of them are descending and taking shapeshifting as humans, but also animals and plants. They mean us no harm. I mean, they mean us no good. Now, this has happened before. And it's so subtle, but in your face, that you could not believe it. The story of Adam and Eve, I mean, we all know the story, and we know it's bullshit, and there's more to the story than just Adam and Eve. If we go back and go into Adam, Cadmon, and Lilith, which of the original Adam and Eve, created in perfection by Jehovah, who rebelled against Jehovah and waged war on Jehovah, was 1/3 of the heavens. So you got Jehovah and 1/3 of the heavens in this way, and you had Lilith and Adam Cadmon on the other side, waging a huge war. This war is not unique and it's not new. Nothing is new under the sun. All has happened before. The Bible describes it in detail. It do. It's there. One side fought against the other. And like it says in Genesis, a war was waged in heaven. And this was the war of one group of beings trying to take dominance over the emerging solar system, which is our planet and and the beings here. Adam, Cadmon, and Lilith won the war and overthrew Jehovah and left the solar system and went to other star systems to populate. If you saw Star Trek, the original movie, where Ilana and one of the captains fell in love and they came together and they created a universe. That was a fascinating movie, but they were telling you shit in that movie. Oh yeah! Many of you were too young to see this movie. You need to look at Star Trek, the original movie. And that scene described the birth of the cosmos. That was the original Adam, Cadmon, and Lilith. This is something that Jehovah tried real hard to put a stop to. This war, because everything happens in cycles. This war is happening again in our time. And these beings just didn't stumble upon our solar system just like out of nowhere. They were called here by the elites and the Vatican. I told you about that telescope, that $4.5 billion telescope at the Vatican that only the Pope is allowed to go into. He tells us that extraterrestrials don't exist, but he's got a telescope up there looking for something. Everybody looking for something. There is an intergalactic takeover that's happening right underneath our noses. Again, making a reference to Battlestar Galactica. Remember that? Many of you are too young to remember the Battlestar Galactica. Could Google it and watch it. Whoopi Goldberg is in it and a few stars. They have a federation And the Federation is at war with other beings of other federations that are trying to take over the solar system. This is real, but that's going to happen during the age of Capricorn. High government, not here, but in the heavens, where they're going to be high level beings that are going to try to take over our common solar system and way of life. You have to understand that in the Bible it talks about the cherubs, the 4 cherubs, right? The lion, the man, the scorpion, and the lion. Those are the fixed signs. Because the planet and our solar system was being bombarded by extraterrestrial invasion, that cherub was created to protect the earth from these beings. And then later came the mutable signs, and then the cardinal signs were the warriors that fought against these beings that were trying to take over our solar system. And this is discussed in the Bible in such detail, it makes you vomit. Vomit. But it's done in very symbolic, non-allegorical language. And if you're not an adept, you're not going to understand what you're reading. In the book of Ephesians in the Bible, it talks about we're not fighting flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. This could not be further from the truth. The reason why the spiritual warfare that we are going through is so intense is because these beings are gaining leverage. I mean, it's intense. It's intense. If we look at Orion and we look at Betelgeuse and Coma Berenice, which are the major stars in Orion, they are beginning to become activated. It is in these star systems within the constellation of Orion and also the bull, the Minos, where we have our protector angels, right, that have come to the earth to protect the earth from further invasion. Jehovah encapsulated or entrapped these beings and made them human, made them earth-like, which is why the Egyptians were always preoccupied with the afterlife and leaving because they know that they were not from here. They were enslaved here. And the Bible talks about it in Revelation. Nothing is new under the sun. You just have to have the proper keys, like the high priestess in Tarot and in Taurus, to understand these mysteries. Oh, it's heavy. Heavy. Listen, it can make someone insane. This type of knowledge and download, if you're not strong enough, it can cause mental instability. And we have seen that in the Bible. We've seen it with David, we've seen it with Samson, we've seen it with Solomon, Aaron. There's a price to pay to have access to this type of knowledge. And people like me run that risk also. We're not that much different. So, understand that this is a war, and it's a serious one. And it's not going to end until one side or the other wins. The Lord of the Rings, where you have Gandalf and you have the other evil wizard, represent those principles. One of them will win. One of them will get to put that ring over the eye and take over. It's the same situation. Yes, I lost weight when I got sick, but you all know me, I bounce back. Okay? And I don't want you to pay attention to how I look and all that, because that's part of the distraction. Yeah. As long as I stay focused on the goal, none of that matters. Because one day, eventually, we're all going to die. We're all going to lose our looks. We're all going to lose, you know what I'm saying? So you can focus on that. And that becomes an example for your own individual lives. I don't know how many chosen ones are out there among you, but understand that many of you will probably start to see visions, dreams. I mean, it does talk about it in the book of Revelation. When the time of man cometh, there'll be visions and dreams and all that stuff. Because this energy, which doesn't belong to our system, is approaching closer to us. Okay? Knowledge is power, but look what it did to Solomon. It made him insane. The rabbis in the Jewish tradition, especially the higher priests, have to be careful of that kind of knowledge, because there have been many rabbis that have gone insane. Because everything has a price, guys. Everything has a price. Now, questions. And let me see if I could answer them. Oh, this is Dr. Pepper. It ain't no alcohol. I can't be taking no alcohol or smoking after having treatment. And they're putting me all these drugs. Which I really don't take. Okay. Locked. Prepare for war. You will. I hope you recover. I'm recovering. I am getting better. It's all in the mind. And you know, I signed up for this. So you can't be a pussy about it. You just gotta, take it and keep it moving. Okay. Yeah, prepare for war. It says in the Bible, put the armor of God on. Oh, so good to see. Yes, I love to see you too. Yeah, natural. I've heard of that. Hey, really. Knowledge is power, you know it. But knowledge can be dangerous too. Right, pay attention to the message, not the messenger. You've known me for years, and you know I go through these ups and downs. It should not be of any surprise to you guys. So this was the end time war of the book of Revelation. It was the end times for that particular period, but it doesn't mean that the world was going to end, that the planet was going to end. It's a cycle. Other beings come and do the same thing, and we go through the same cycle, but with different experiences, different beings. The Orion constellation, the Pleiades constellation, and Anilam, which is located, it's now in Orion, but it used to be in Taurus, the hunter. The war was coming from there. before Sagittarius now. This is what the Egyptians, which were not human, they were not human. Let's get that straight. They were not human. They came here to protect the earth, but they were encapsulated by the demiurge god Jehovah, which is still alive and well to this day. I'll give you a little Christmas Day gift with this information. Okay? I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to give you more, but I gotta give it to you in piecemeal. And I'm now going to begin the series of one of the other planets because the Saturn series, it's already on Zoom. Okay?